So good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Baltimore Fair Election Fund monthly commission monthly meeting. Today is November 8th, 2023. And for public recording disclaimer, please be advised that this meeting is being recorded. It is public. Thank you. And so from there, I always state, unless otherwise indicated, the Fair Election Fund meets virtually through Microsoft Teams on the second Wednesday of each month at 5 o'clock. Today's proposed agenda, we have from the Commission, we will have the approval of September and October updates or minutes. Number 2, we will have a chair's report. Number 3, a vice chair's report and a little bit of input from myself. Number 4, what other updates we have not mentioned previously or comes in from the public. If there's anyone from the public here, please know that you're welcome. And then 5, as we spoke about in a couple of other of our previous meetings, some common FAQs that seem to be coming up that I have begun tracking. And once we sort of peruse those, then we can add those, or I will, after the meeting, into the FAQs that are posted on the Fair Election Fund website. So with that, I will turn it over to the commission, and let's see if I have anybody waiting. I do not.
LaShonda did join us while you're doing the opening remarks, Nadine, so we have a quorum.
We do. Okay. All right. So with that, the commission can go forward with the approval and October minutes.
So, is there a motion to approve the minutes from September?
I move that we approve the September minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So September minutes are approved. Can I have a motion to approve the October minutes?
So moved. Paris.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The minutes from the October meeting are approved. I think it's worth noting that we didn't have a quorum for the October meeting, so we did not approve the September minutes. So while we met in October, it wasn't an official, there was no official business conducted. So I would like to report that, well, first I want to welcome our newest member who has not joined us yet today, Anwar Young. He is our 7th member of the commission, and I look forward to working with him. And I also want to report that we now have 4 candidates who have filed with the State Board of Elections to participate in the program. That is 1 person running for mayor, 1 person running for city council, and 2 people who are running for, 1 person running for city council president and 2 people who are running for city council. There is, I believe there was just a filing deadline Monday or Sunday. And so we are likely to see in the next week if anyone has actually qualified. Right now, they are pending. That is all that I have. We can go on to the vice chair's report.
Very good. Well, I'm going to defer to Nadine for a good good part of this. So Nadine, I noted here that we have permission. So for the use of Microsoft translation tools. So that is for printed documentation. My question actually to you is, will that include translating the minutes from previous meetings also already approved? Since we approved them in the form that they were, can those also be translated for the record? Oh, you're muted, Nadine.
Thank you. I hope that's a good question. I hope so. I have been doing lots and lots of Drupal training for the efficiency and the quickness of being able to turn around reports and documentations related to the commission. So I will go back, since I was just given permission that per ADA requirements, um, and I guess that goes back to what's already been stated in terms of our summary and the FAQs, that I too hopefully will be able to include prior minutes as well. I will find out. I actually have another training on Tuesday, and I will take that question back and update the commission. I certainly hope so. So the minutes from, or I'm sorry, the agenda from today was my first effort at doing so. And so you'll see the little link at the bottom
Right.
for that. So I will find out. Hopefully that goes to back documents as well.
Great. Well, thank you very much for that. And the status then, we have now Mr. Young, who's going to be joining us hopefully this evening, but it's been approved that bringing our numbers to 7. And then the remaining 4, can you share the latest on that?
From the mayor's office, I don't know
Yeah.
if Charlie has received any information, but the latest that I received from Nina, and also just cruising the legislative agendas that are pending, I do not see any information that indicates that they have yet been confirmed or up for confirmation for a passing vote. I will check daily. I know Nina is swamped, but I will check again with her consistently next week in hopes that we're getting some movement after uh, for those nominees that have, I think we were told several meetings ago that
Right.
they had been announced. And
Mhm.
so I'll find out what the status is at this point.
Great. Thank you. Yeah, I know that was my understanding, is that all of them had been at least nominated.
Yes.
So very good. And then the third thing is obviously dependent on the second thing. Once we have our contingent fully on board, we can proceed with the next briefing. We might want to just, I guess, based on maybe the next meeting, if we haven't made much progress, we may need to discuss that, whether we want to still move forward with having that meeting with the board in January, say, before things get really busy for them.
I would agree with, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, and then, regardless of however many additional members we have at that time.
I would agree with that, because to your update as well, I will be meeting with the State Board of Elections. Jared was elevated. And
Right.
so Jared informed me, we were supposed to meet last week, but he just replaced himself, as well as Diane, who was his audit manager.
Right.
And so I will be meeting with them on Tuesday.
Very good.
And with Jeff. So we will have our legal support, as well as an introduction to the new hires. And I will also field that with them. So by the end of next month, if whatever we have, I think it's wise to go ahead and have another briefing.
Right. Now, I would agree. And if you don't mind, if you have the opportunity after that meeting, just to shoot us a short update as to who the folks are and
Okay.
if there's anything critical that we need to know in advance of our next meeting. That'd be great.
Absolutely, I'll do that.
Okay. So I guess that concludes my segment of the report.
I would also say that we should get on the calendar with them as soon as possible, this public briefing, not just for the commission members, but we really need to start getting the information out and do a training for candidates. January is when I anticipate a lot of candidates who have been thinking about getting into a race will start getting in. So we might want to see if we can't plan something for January.
Yeah, I thank you for bringing that up, Charlie. I was going to ask, do we think we should perhaps, I know we were thinking about doing that at the end of this session this month, but do we want to just, I guess the question is, do we want to perhaps advertise that at 6 o'clock in December and in January at the end of our sessions, that we're just going to have the presentation, and then people show up, great, but we can do some advertising on that.
Yeah, I think that we should be doing that.
Okay, so and
Would
then
you, I'm sorry.
No, please go ahead, Nate.
Would you like me to attend your sessions?
Yeah, I think we're going to conduct them immediately following our regularly scheduled meeting. So I would be great if you can.
Okay.
Particularly as we might field some FAQs that either we can't answer immediately, so at least would shorten the time frame of translating some of those for action by the city. For either you or Jeff to take back.
Okay.
Yeah, and is anybody aware of any other activities? I mean, this is a weird time where certainly the campaigns are ramping up, but also at the same time, so is the holiday season. So is there anything that anybody's aware of in the next, from now until the end of the year that we might be able to piggyback on or offer to attend and either just be there for Q&A or to provide presentations of leveraging existing activities amongst the organizations in the city that are promoting elections?
I think that there are probably coming up a number of, seeing as we are now officially a year out from the elections of 2024, there will probably be quite a few community-based organizations that are doing, that will be talking about elections now. So I think there's definitely some outreach we can do to find out and to try to get on, proactively reach out and try to get on some of those meetings.
Is that something that maybe we can all just take as an action individually, and then sort of just start a group email saying, so I'm just looking at my watch to say it was the 8th, and maybe by the end of next week, in advance of this Thanksgiving week, but maybe by the end of next week, we just all shoot an email to one another, and just any organizations that we know, or if we want to do a respective web search. Worst case scenarios, we identify the same ones, which would sort of indicate maybe the ones that we should go to, because we're all aware of those. But just to put a quick list together where we might be able to do that.
Paris has her hand raised.
Hi, yeah, I apologize if I missed this. This wouldn't be in addition to or instead of our meeting, or could we do it with our meeting next month, or did we already rule that out? Because I thought at some point.
Yeah, I was thinking this would be in addition to that. We should just schedule, extra time and advertise that in December, or December meeting, and our January meetings that we will have. We will present, the overview as we have. It really is just a training that's already been prepared, right?
Right.
Present that and then be available for
Yeah.
Q&A.
And then we're hoping to, sorry, not to, just to recap, I want to make sure I'm getting it right.
No,
So
that's
then in addition to our January and December meeting, we want to hopefully find some other elections, voting based community meetings that we want to tag onto.
Yeah, we're certainly offer
end of the
to attend.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, so what I'm hearing is two things. One is, and we had spoken about this earlier, is putting a training at the end of our meeting. So that would be 5:30 or 6 o'clock, whatever comes, tag it onto our monthly meeting. And the second thing being to proactively reach out to organizations to ask if we could present at one of their meetings. Which I think is a great idea. What I would suggest is that, as opposed to us just going out individually, is that we come up with a standard letter or email that we can send out to people that says, it's got standard language, it says the same thing, that we could then send out and maybe do follow-up calls to those people. We have a couple of things. We have the list of official community associations. And then I think we could try to put together a list of politically active organizations, maybe, or civic organizations. That's the correct word. Civic organizations that are, beyond just community based. I think we could an email to those. So maybe we could start a list or send our list to Nadine. Could you manage that list?
Yes, I could. So you would populate the data. You would give me the communication, and you'd give me the letter, and you'd give me the intended information. Sure, I could transmit that for you. Sure.
Yeah, thank you, Charlie. That was what I was trying to convey poorly, is that we would generate the list individually and send it to that. But I'm happy to take on drafting the letter.
Excellent.
Keep it short and
Thank
sweet.
you.
Yeah, and I'll send that. So do we want to set either, I was thinking either Wednesday or Friday of next week to get the organization names and or dates that we want to reach out to Nadine? Do we have a preference for sooner or later?
Can folks get the names of or contacts for organizations that they know to Nadine by a week from today?
Yes.
Which is right before Thanksgiving, so we might want to. Is it right? No, next. It's not.
No, you're
Two
rushing
weeks
time.
tomorrow.
We got a week out.
It is coming
Yeah,
quick
next
though, and it's
Wednesday's
early.
fine for me.
Great.
Okay.
And I'll do the same. Would folks prefer me to circulate the letter first, or just get it over to Nadine and I simultaneously send it to Nadine and to everyone? Then Nadine, if you wouldn't mind, you can gather the comments.
Certainly, I will. I have it designated, as you see on the website. I'll send it from the Fair Election Fund email. That way, everything will be housed in reply there.
Fantastic. All right, so I'll draft that letter and then and send it off to everybody. And then any comments you can send to Nadine to incorporate. But we'll keep it short and sweet, and go from there.
Thanks, John.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And for all of us who are going to be thinking of organization contacts, can someone start an email thread with that, or we're sending those to Nadine by next Wednesday?
Right.
Okay.
Nadine, let us know if we all send the same 5 or 10 names. Let us know if we're sending duplicates.
Should we consider a social media strategy? I mean, I don't spend a ton of time over on Facebook, but I know that, there's like well, I don't want to start naming names of groups, but there are some groups that are more active than others, and certainly don't want to, generate any kind of firestorm, but certainly there might be, I'm just not sure what the mechanism or what would be best in terms of thinking about how to share via social. So love some input on that, or do a little thinking about what might make sense or what maybe we should stay away from, frankly.
Yeah, good point. And probably the latter point being maybe the more critical.
Does the city have capacity to put together like a comms package, like a social media kit?
What would be included in that, Sam? Or Nate?
Sample tweets, sample
Oh,
social media graphics.
I think we'd have to do that.
Okay.
I think at the very least, we should put out some kind of interest form or some kind of request form. Would you like us to come to you to present? And of course, it'd be great to use social media to put that out.
Mm-hmm. I also want to take Tracy's suggestion to the next level, which is we could do a Facebook Live where we, maybe with Baltimore City voters or some other group, I know this, that we could just say, we want to do this thing on your site, and then pick a 30-minute window where we just go through, or 15-minute window where we go through the PowerPoint and then do a Q&A. And see if we can't do it in collaboration with one of these, because there are many different groups out there that are Baltimore City based.
So perhaps I can include that in the email, the letter, just different options, right? So we'd be happy to come to you. We have these events scheduled for attached to our meetings, or if your organization has the capacity and would like to host a session online, we're happy to participate in that as well. I mean, maybe those are the three big choices. That's a great idea, Troy.
And I know earlier we talked about doing doing radio. We never put a plan together about it.
Yeah, I reached out to a couple of the connections I have and gotten nothing back. Podcasts and radio folks. I'll try one of my TV connections again. It'd just be nice to have something. I know they're talking about the election already, so.
Right. Well, there's a lot of news around the election right now,
so
we should jump on it. Especially as people start to announce.
Might have us.
Say that again, Paris?
Carl Stokes is on WBAL on, I don't know when, I don't know if he has a show or if he's filling in, but he would probably, I think he has a lot of time to fill. I think he'd be welcome, a fifth of us. I will look into that.
Okay.
Yeah. And maybe this is me being, too optimistic here, but John, when you mentioned including in the letter, if you'd like us to, there's a lot of Facebook groups out there. I don't want us to get inundated with, Baltimore City voters is tens of thousands of people, or a big reach, but I don't want, just thinking capacity wise, we can't go to 20 little Facebook groups, so I don't know if we want to put that publicly out there, but maybe we do.
I'm just taking notes to capture some of these points so I include them in the letter. And would we call these more information sets? But I think training might be a little bit too, might indicate to people that we're giving them a lot more information about what they should do or how they should do it.
I think it's information session is correct.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think training kind of signifies that you get some kind of certificate or something at the end. And I don't
Right.
think we would want to go that far, but I
Right.
think information session makes sense.
If we do get a lot of responses for invitations, you know, to have to do these information sessions, we could, and there is a need for sort of more of a training or more question, you know, specific questions, we could use our upcoming 2 meetings for those, or
Yeah.
one of the upcoming meetings.
I also think that when we're doing this, that we don't just focus on the candidate side of it, because one of the things that will make this that we need in order to make this program successful is that the public needs to understand their role in it, that people are going to be knocking on their doors and asking for these contributions, and how they why the program is about you know, civic voter participation, like how it gives more power back to citizens. I think we have to frame it from the perspective of not just if you want to run, but why it's important for citizens to participate in the programs and make their small dollar contributions.
Yeah, the impact. Yeah.
I was going to ask, has that maybe been the pitch to the media, the citizen engagement piece of it? I think that probably is a little bit more compelling than sort of the candidate side of things. I would think to media and podcasters, that power that's being put into people's hands.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm just trying to think. There were a couple of pieces that you know, the folks at Common Cause, I think, put together that were geared specifically toward citizens, just for their awareness. And in the case of both Baltimore and, you know, in Howard County, and way back or earlier in Montgomery County, where they specifically said, you know, vote for this because it'll increase your impact and influence in the election process. And so we can adopt some of that and just maybe even put something that's more generic, obviously not with their information on there, but just say, you know, here's, you know, you can participate, and this is what the impact is, and just have something really simple on something that people can download from our website that we can just start you know, distributing by the same social media channels as well. Sam, I'm trying to think, when you put some of that information together, was there anything going way back? Was there anything that was more voter focused versus candidate or campaign focused?
I think most of it was voter focused.
Yeah, it was mostly voter and partner focused. I just shared you on the drive where we made all the materials. You're welcome to pull from any of that. And we already as I sent you the other day, we already have an email teed up to our to the Baltimore Votes listserv about it. That's very forwardable. That's simple, and like, you know, I think promoting these upcoming meetings is great. We can make a simple graphic about it in Canva and share it in Facebook groups. I think that's a great idea.
Great. Oh, I see it. Thank you for sharing that.
I also think there were a couple of there were a couple of op-eds that were published that we could reprint. And as a way that will, you know, maybe get the Sun to focus on it again. But, you know, we're going back to 2018. So it's, you know, kind of old. Is this past, long time ago.
I have one of those op-eds. I can reshare it.
Thank you.
Yeah. When was what was the date in November of that election? wonder what day that, it may have, I feel like it may have been posted today. Let's see.
It was 2018, so
Yeah, it was November. Mine was November 5th. Well, if it could have been like 5 years ago today.
yeah. But still, you know.
But 5 years and 5 days ago today.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, should we move on to the next part of the, or is there more to discuss here?
I think we've got some good momentum around these couple items there.
Okay. Any other updates? Sam, I know you're sending out something. Do you want to talk about that a little?
There's not much to say. We just made a explainer on the pre-election fund, and we will send it to the Baltimore votes list later this week. So that's and that's a 5,000 person list. So that'll reach a lot of folks.
Excellent. Are there any other updates before we go to the questions? And does anybody have a comment on the questions?
I just going back for a second, a question for Nadine. We had talked about putting something up on the website to request a commissioner to come out to a meeting. Are the IT folks working on that? What's the status of
They
that?
have not begun working on it. I started working on it, and hopefully the assistance that I need, the form for anybody who wants to request a meeting, that form, correct? Hopefully I will be able to complete that task next week after the Veterans Day holiday, which is Friday. So
great, okay.
hopefully I can get that posted to the website under the commission meeting tab. That was my intent.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I lifted a template from the mayor's website. He has one.
Yeah, no, great. Well, that I'm just wondering if we shouldn't have it on our homepage and maybe the meetings page, a couple different places, since it's just going to be a link.
Okay.
Okay, so moving on to our FAQs. It's good that people are reaching out. I've heard from a couple of people myself. I know a couple of people have called you, Nadine. Ebony has fielded quite a few questions. So it sounds like there might be more people who are looking at the program to participate. But did any of the commissioners, did any of you have any comments or inquiries about the FAQs that we're adding?
No new inquiries or comments.
Okay.
The good thing that, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry. One question that isn't here that I got yesterday or a couple days ago was about the definition of a Baltimore City resident. It's quite vague. In the law, it's quite vague as to what a Baltimore City resident is. And I think that we might get that. It just says they must be a Baltimore City resident, but it doesn't clarify what a Baltimore City resident is.
Is
Like,
there a
is
legal
that-
somewhere?
I will go, but did you look at the legislation? I will go back. I don't know the answer to that
Okay. I looked at the
specifically.
legislation and I didn't
You
see
didn't see
the
it.
definition in there,
Okay.
but it might be elsewhere in the law,
Right.
and that's in that same code of what defines, because I know you don't have to be a voter, but there's, so a student, someone who's a student in Baltimore City who wants to give a contribution, but their permanent address is somewhere else. We know the student can register to vote in Baltimore City, but their permanent address might be somewhere else. So I think that's not on our list, but we might need to clarify that. John, you have feedback?
Yeah, no, I was going to say the same thing. Yeah, that hopefully it's somewhere else in the law, encoded in the law, that by reference, it's, even if it's not referenced, it's already been defined.
Yeah.
If not, then that's, I'll have to add that to the list of some
Is-
corrections.
It's not synonymous with registered voter.
I'm sorry, say that again?
Baltimore City resident is not synonymous with registered voter.
Correct.
Got it.
I'll take that to Jeff. Okay.
Okay. I guess that brings us to number 6. Upcoming meeting, December 13th at 5 p.m. I look forward to seeing you all there.
Yes. Quorum 2 times. Let's go for a record.
Yes, absolutely. Also, I think that we might amend that to say that upon the conclusion of that meeting, that we will have a briefing.
Yeah, I was just working on some words on that, basically saying that because I think we need to give folks a specific time, but what I said is the commission will be conducting information sessions at 5:30 in conjunction with our regularly scheduled meetings on December 13th and January 10th. Please note that the information session will start as soon as the commission completes its official business, which may be after 5:30.
Correct. I think that's
I don't
great.
think we've ever ended before 5:30. We tend to be in this 5:40 to 5:55 range. So if people start showing up early, we'll just have to keep an eye on that, let them in, and just maybe have, I don't know if we can have something in the chat automatically. It says, the information session will start immediately after this, but I would say something along those lines. And then maybe we can just touch base, I guess, Nadine, when you're circulating the, the draft agenda, if you want to just tweak us to say who's going to be leading the presentation. Certainly happy to defer to the chair to either take that responsibility on or to assign it as appropriate.
Yeah. I think we could parse that out offline.
Yeah.
And so that we know what our roles are.
Fantastic.
Excellent. Well, thank you all. Oh, I guess we need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
We will see you on December 13th and talk to you before.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hi,
Thanks so
everyone.
much. Good
Thank
seeing
you so
all.
much. Have a happy
Thank you. Good
Veterans
night,
Day,
everybody.
everybody.
Happy
Happy
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving. Yeah.
Happy
Feel better,
Veterans
Farrell.
Day.
Yes.
Thank
Thanks.
you. Stay
Bye.
well.
Bye.
Bye-bye.